Greetings, YouTube land. I am Falagar, and welcome back to an overview video, I guess, because I figured that since the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim is going to be coming out in 3 days, this coming Friday. It's the 25th today, Tuesday. I thought I'll just give a little history. Or my history with the Elder Scrolls series. So I do have original boxes for them, but some of them are at my dad's house and I cannot locate them. I tried. But so anyways, I only have 2 of them here. Okay. But okay, so the first one in the series, the Elder Scrolls, Chapter 1 is Arena. Now this one I didn't play so much of. I didn't start off with Arena, and I remember getting this game when I saw it at Computer Renaissance, and it was up there on the shelf. They had like a small gaming section, maybe just like 2 small shelves, maybe about like this wide, top and bottom, and I saw that sitting up there, and I believe it was brand new, the Elder Scrolls Chapter 1 Arena. And it's in one of those, those thick boxes, not that big, with a slip cover, So I bought it there, and I made a deal with the owner there, or the manager at least, and we became friends. Excuse me. And matter of fact, my very good friend Falagar worked there, along with my cousin Paul. So I don't know, maybe Falagar, you remember that? Now the second one is the Elder Scrolls 2, Chapter 2, is I think they were, is what it said on the box, but it's really just Elder Scrolls 2, which is Daggerfall, and I have the original one of that as well. And this is the one that I started off with. I remember when Falagar had this demo disc of Daggerfall, and he let me borrow that, and I installed it and everything. It was just a little demo, but it was very cool, and it had this like bestiary, so you can see some of the monsters like the spiders and spriggans and stuff like that. And then when the game finally came out, I bought it, and it almost had this kind of the box, it was like shiny, certain parts of it where it was like reflective and shiny. It was a really nice cover, and it's King Lysandus on the front cover, his skull with his crown, and his hand, I believe his hand was like coming out like this, like somewhere in the bottom. That's the one I started off with, and I really enjoyed Daggerfall. I played my brother and I, Falagar, and my cousin Paul, we played it for just countless hours. And my best friend at the time, Jason, we all played it for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and it was the best game we ever played. The sky and everything, just how large and vast the world was, and the dungeons were, I believe they were randomly generated, except for the first dungeon, which was Privateer's Hold, which is the starter dungeon. That was always the same. But whenever you'd get these procedural quests, they were like Radiant, where basically it's almost like a fetch quest or like a delivering the message kind of quest. But it still felt kind of new and fresh, because the names would change, the locations would change, and when we would go into the dungeons, which they were very layered. Very different, and even the map was a 3D kind of map, and it made things kind of complicated. But like I said, there are different levels and different layers. They were always different, and you can easily get lost, so it felt fresh and new every time. So I started off with Daggerfall, and then when I saw Arena on the shelf at Computer Renaissance, and I bought it, and I went back to it, and I played it for a little bit, and then just some years ago, today, like back in like 2000, probably 9 or 10, I went back and played it again for a little while, and I should get back to it. Well, anyways, I played it, and it was different from Daggerfall. One thing that's very apparent in Daggerfall, the way they had it was you would level up through using skills, which made a lot of sense because experience points, or XP, you gain experience points through your experiences, through getting better at things. So if you use magic and that was your class and part of your major skills, then, you know, and you started casting fireballs, like destruction spells or healing spells, you know, restoration spells. That was my brother right there, sorry about that. Well then, you know, those skills would level up, and then it would contribute towards your level, and you would gain levels that way. There were no experience points. Arena went back to the classic way of leveling up with XP. So you gain experience for completing quests and killing monsters, and, you know, so that was like different there, and I was cool with that. And it was different the way the dungeons were structured. Oh, mind you, there was no Imperial class. That came in, I believe it came in Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls 4. Okay. So, you know, I went, like I said, you know, and I didn't like it as much as Daggerfall, just because I was so used to it. And the dungeons, how I said, there were like different levels and layers to them. It wasn't so complex with Arena. The dungeons were pretty much always all like flat. There was no like scaling and ascending the walls and stuff like that, you know, like how they had it in Daggerfall. When Morrowind came out, and I have the special collector's edition, but like I said, that one's at my dad's house, and that came with the soundtrack. I can't remember if it came with a figure, but it was a nice big collector's box. And then this also came out, which is the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, the Game of the Year edition, and this comes with Mournhold and Blood Moon. Here we are. And those are the two expansions. Mournhold, I'm sorry, Tribunal and Blood Moon. Tribunal, you go to the capital city of Morrowind, which is Mournhold. And Blood Moon, you go to Solstheim, which is like an island northwest of Vardenfell. So I got this one. Well, not this one, but I got Morrowind, the collector's edition, before there was the expansions, of course. And my PC wasn't powerful enough to handle it. And it was around this time when I picked up an Xbox, you know, the original Xbox. So it wasn't until maybe like a couple years later. Now I did play very, very little of it, because my other friend, who now moved to Florida, which is Brian, and his lovely wife Gretchen, which was part of our Dungeons and Dragons gaming group. His computer was powerful enough to handle it, so I would just come over and just kind of mess around with it. But I couldn't really dedicate myself to that game, just because I can't just keep going over to his house just to play. So I just, you know, played with it a little bit. So when I got the Xbox and played it there, the load screens were just terrible, okay? It would literally take maybe a few minutes to like 5 minutes just to load a game, and you would die a lot, okay? But I still enjoyed it, and the interface was, well, the overall graphics were not as good as it is on PC. But so I played it for a decent while, and then stopped. Then in 2006, this was like early 2000s with Morrowind, and then 2006 Oblivion came out, and like I said, I have the collector's box for that, and that's for the Xbox 360. It wasn't like a big box or anything. It was just about the size of a 360 box, but just thicker, and it was actually in a box. And this was when the rating for it was a T for teen, but then due to like mods that were not created by Bethesda, there were like nude packs and stuff like that, and because of that, they had to resticker all the games and put M for mature. Okay, I think it's called the ESBR rating, so they had to put an M for mature because of that, and plus I guess because of the blood and stuff like that. So now every copy that you buy will have like an M for mature, but I have the original one when it was T for teen. So I played several hundreds of hours of Oblivion. Started creating many different character classes, even though Mage is my absolute favorite character class to play. And then I got a laptop which was powerful enough to handle Morrowind, so then I would juggle Morrowind, you know, in conjunction with Oblivion. So I'd be playing both of them, even though I'd be focusing mostly on Oblivion. And like I said, I had many different character classes: paladins, thieves, assassins, nightblades, stuff like that, spell swords even. But like I said, my favorite class was always mage class. So then some years went by, and it was like 2011, and I think it might have been like about a year ago when we got the news of Skyrim. I think so, in 2010. So I was super excited for that, and as it started drawing near, you know, the coming few months before Skyrim would arrive, there was a little game, a little MMO called Lord of the Rings Online, which Falagar introduced my brother and I to, and we would play that for a while, do anticipation for Skyrim. So we'd play that for a good long while. And Skyrim came out, and I got the collector's box set of that on the 360 with the dragon. Uh-oh. I think it's doing that. Okay, let me go ahead and end this. Okay, I apologize for that. I really hate when that happens, so I really have to pay attention to that. Okay, so it came with the dragon, you know, Alduin, and I believe it came with a collector's art book, which I haven't even cracked open, but that's because I like to try to keep it all nice and new. And it came with this game in here. Okay. Something else I also have is the soundtrack to Skyrim, which was composed by Jeremy Soule, and it was signed and autographed. It was like a limited release of that. Like if the first 200 people to order it from the Bethesda website, I believe, will get an autographed copy of it. You know, like I said, autographed by the composer Jeremy Soule, who also did the soundtrack for Morrowind and Oblivion. And in here, it looks like this. Wow, this is really, really great. And what is this? The bonus disc? I'm not too sure what that is. And the disc is not here, because I think it's actually in one of the other cases. Not in the Xbox, but you know, when I swap games, sometimes I don't put it back in the same case. I just put it back in the case of the game that I'm going to play next. And we have a map, which I will not unfold. And yeah, this is a really nice collector's edition. Let's go ahead and put this back. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so Skyrim. And this one I played, at this point, I think I've played it, this is the one where I put the most hours into it. More so than Oblivion and probably even Daggerfall, because Daggerfall I put in so many hundreds and hundreds of hours, but I think even now with Skyrim I surpassed that, right? So that one, you know, that was just great. You know, you were the Dragonborn. I absolutely loved it. It brought back dragons, and by the way, it was in Oblivion where they introduced the Imperial class, which is their home is in Cyrodiil, which is the whole you know, the main, I guess, the main city of all of Tamriel. It's like central city, and Imperial City is the capital there. And you know, and same thing with Skyrim. You can play an Imperial, and you know, there's this civil war going on with the Imperials and the Stormcloaks led by Ulfric, and the Imperials led by General Tullius. And I just absolutely love that, and how, you know, the dragons are all coming back. And I won't say anything more about it, just in case for those folks who have not played it. And I thought the graphics were just absolutely gorgeous. It totally blows away Oblivion. Movie Mike told me too. He tried getting into Oblivion, like, you know, a few years back. This is already after Skyrim had already come out, because he heard really good things about it, and he had played Skyrim, and I think he enjoyed that game. But not as much as Witcher, right? Which, you know, Witcher's an absolutely solid game, Witcher 3, but let's not talk about that. I might do another video at some point kind of discussing the two, which I do love both. Okay, and he just said he couldn't get past the graphics of Oblivion, I guess because you know, probably if he played it back in 2006, it would not look as bad. It probably look absolutely gorgeous, because the cool thing about Oblivion with the graphics is the forests and the grass and everything is all procedurally generated. That means it's constantly, you know, being generated as you move on, as you go forward, and that's why you can see it like swaying and moving. So that was kind of cool with that, versus being handcrafted, which was, I believe in Skyrim's case, they kind of changed that, and it was more handcrafted, a lot of the stuff, you know, of the forest. So that's why it looks kind of different. But then again, Skyrim has a different look. You're more up north, so you know, you're going to have more of that kind of winter fall like environment. Now, you know, with Skyrim Special Edition, that seems like to change. I think they're adding, it looked to me like they're adding procedural, you know, foliage and grass. Hold on, I better stop this again and start up. Okay, here we go. I absolutely hate when that happens. I don't know why it's doing this lately. Sometimes it doesn't happen at all, but the when it like pauses. Okay. So I don't know what else I have to add to it, other than like just Skyrim, you know. And I love the whole Nord. It just kind of reminds me of like Vikings in a way, you know. And they're thick, you know, Nordic accents. I absolutely love that. And you know, all the Nords, you know, they're one of the bigger races in the game. And it also introduced dragon shouts, which was a new you know, mechanic to the game. So you can play a character class that is completely not a mage, and you don't want to use magic, but you can at least still use shouts, which were something comparable to magic. So you know, when you can shout at an enemy and either just push them back, make them go flying, or freeze them, or you know, anything, or use like fire breath, and that's known as the dragon tongue. And the dragon tongue or shouting basically is the language in which the dragons use to communicate with each other. That's their, you know, dragon speak. Okay, their you know, draconic language, I guess, dragon language. So basically, when two dragons are shouting at each other, they're basically having like an argument, right? They're yelling at each other. And that's like, it's the power of the Thum, as they call it, THU apostrophe UM, the Thum. Okay, and you can hear it all in the Bard's song, Tale of Tongues, right? Which becomes accessible after you beat the game, the main quest line. Okay, and then you know, after Skyrim, you know, we played you know, the Elder Scrolls Online. Now the only MMO I had experience with is the Lord of the Rings Online, and now we're playing ESO, you know, the Elder Scrolls Online, especially now with this new One Tamriel, which is absolutely fantastic. I love that. And I played some, you know, a good amount with Garagi, and I played some with Adrian as well. A little bit more so with Gar, I think, but especially now with this new One Tamriel. Hopefully, you know, we can all get back together again, because now there's such a difference in level gap. My brother is level 100, champion level 100. I'm only level 35, almost 36. I think Gare is like level 18 or 19. Falagar is like level 9 or 10. But here's the beauty part. They made it so that no matter what your levels, whether you're level 1, level 100, level 200, level 500, I've seen people level 500 something, level 20, level 30, 32, it doesn't matter. You can all still get together and still go and roll as a group, as a party, and take down enemies. Because with the one Tamriel, they made each individual enemy that you engage in combat scale to your particular level, so there'll always be a challenge for someone, and no one enemy would be too tough, too strong for you. And the way it seemed to me, at least when I've been playing it, like I said, my brother's level 100 and I was like level 30, 31 at the time. If the enemy disengages the higher level character and it starts engaging you like you engage it, its level will somehow, it will just drop to yours or to match your level, so there's no problem there. So everything will be equal for all, and everyone can still co-op with everyone without any kind of a problem, right? Okay, so that's it. I just, that's my history with it, and I do want to play some arena just to kind of like celebrate, play where it all began, and because it's the one where I had the least experience with it. I played more of it probably back in 2009, 2010, where I actually got out of the dungeon, because you'll notice in all Elder Scrolls games you kind of start off as a prisoner, right? And I got out into the first town, and I had to repair my weapon. It's different the way weapons repair in this game. In Arena, is you go to a blacksmith and you drop off whatever equipment you need repaired. You have to come back like a couple days later because it takes time to repair it. So it had almost that realistic, way about it. The way blacksmiths will repair your weapons versus just it instantly repairs it. Like in Oblivion, it was through the blacksmith, or you can repair it with repair hammers. It was always instantaneous. Okay, hopefully it's recording and it's okay, everything's in sync. And okay, so in Oblivion there was repair hammers. Same thing with Morrowind, there was repair hammers as well, or you can get it repaired at a shop. In Skyrim, they completely got rid of that, so there's no more repairing of the weapons, but it's more so of upgrading the quality from like fine, I think to like, I think hard or something. I can't remember what it was, but you can actually upgrade the quality of metal, and it just makes it stronger. So there's no repairing, but it's more of just upgrading your equipment. Okay, and not only that, of course, then you can craft your own weapons and armor. And I think the only way you can get Daedric is, was it through? I don't think you can. Can you craft Daedric? There's one where one of the material, I think you can't craft it, but you have to find it. But the only way you can get, like, I think you could find Daedric. I think it's like dragon bone armor and like dragon scale, which uses the scales of a dragon that you slaughter. You can't find those, but you have to craft those yourself. That's how that is, right? The dragon bone armor. Okay, and there were expansions, like I said, for Morrowind. There was the Tribunal and the Blood Moon. Tribunal and Blood Moon. Oblivion had Shivering Isles, and it had like a bunch of other ones, like the Knights of the Nine, and it had a bunch of little ones like the Wizard's Tower, and they even charge you for horse armor. Which I wish there was more options for horse armor there. Skyrim had Dawnguard, Dragonborn, and Hearthfire. It only had 3, so folks were a little disappointed there. But it's great because you also get to make your own house, your own base, which I absolutely love. So I'm really, really looking forward to Skyrim Special Edition, guys. And so yeah, that's just my little history with the whole series of the Elder Scrolls. 3 days. October 28th, 2016, Skyrim Special Edition. This is just the regular one, like I said, which came with the Special Edition, or Collector's Edition, I should say. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and farewell. See you in Tamriel. when you look at the art, and I don't think I mentioned this in my history with the Elder Scrolls, but when you look at the art box, which I do have, I just have to locate it. It's at my dad's house still. The cover looks like similar to the posters in the arena in Oblivion. In fact, they kind of based those posters of the arena in Oblivion on the box cover art of Arena. So still different, but it's, you know, loosely based on it, I guess, because the other one had this really sexy blonde warrior on there and a couple warriors on the side of her. I believe she was in the middle. Well, anyways, when they originally created this game, you know, Bethesda, and they were like a small company then, they thought it was just going to be literally just like an arena kind of thing, kind of like, well, just like how it is in Oblivion, how it's like an arena, maybe a little bit more expansive than the arena quest line that we got in Oblivion. But it turned out that they decided, well, you know what, let's make a whole game around this, and they expanded the world so you can go topside and everything. But since the posters were already made, they just kept the title and just kept the poster as the box art and everything. And they paid the man already, I guess, so that's why it's just still called Arena. And they came up with the reason why it's called Arena is because the world out there is just, everything's like in chaos and everyone's always fighting everyone. It was almost like the world has become, the whole world has, all of Tamriel has become an arena. So that's a little history about that. Okay, guys, so now this is the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I skipped showing Daggerfall just because it looks so similar to the way Arena looked like in appearance, although there's still some graphical improvements. It is better, but I guess nowadays it's not by much. But if it was back in the day and then you saw from, you know, back in the 90s, like from 94 and then 96, from Arena to Daggerfall, I think you would notice a difference. At least I did when I played it. You know, went from 2 and then went back to Arena, and I saw there was a difference. Not so much now. I do not have Oblivion installed right now, so unfortunately I cannot show footage of that. And then Skyrim, I think you can just go ahead and look at some of my previous Skyrim Let's Plays. Look at the later ones, because if you look at the ones in the past, it was before I got this really nice gaming PC that Adrian so kindly put together for me. And then I think I'll even throw in some Elder Scrolls Online at the end of this. I don't want to go too long. I want to show this just because the start of this game is it kind of doubles as a character creation. It's kind of similar to the way they did it in Oblivion, where as you progress through the early stages in the game, you are creating your character at the same time. And in Arena, I'm sorry, not Arena. What am I thinking? Skyrim. No, in Skyrim, it's just it's kind of similar, but it's more I guess natural the way you create your character. It's there are no questions being asked like in Oblivion. You have the Emperor asking you questions, like under what birth sign were you born under and stuff like that. And there's like a pop-up that kind of tells you what character class you want to pick, or if you want to custom make it. But in Skyrim, it doesn't have any of that. You just, as soon as you create your character, you're good to go. And then you can keep changing your birth sign on the fly, because there are all these standing stones everywhere. So they made it a bit more like fluid, I guess, and just more natural, you know, in the whole character creation process. So here, this is how it starts off, and this is Job.
Stand up.
Okay, he's about to ask me what my name is. I'm just going to create like a dummy character. I won't go too much. Okay.
Not even last night's storm could wake you. I heard them say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go.
I don't even know if this is the highest.
Quiet. Here comes the guard.
I can set the graphics to.
Come with me.
I think it is. I mean, if you look here, there really isn't. So there's not much. Well, hold on here. Well, look at that. Oh, that's cool. Okay, and I think the resolution's fine. We'll just keep it at that. Okay, it's...
You better do what they say.
Yeah, I'm going. So apparently at this time that I'm recording this now, it's only Thursday, and it's 7:36, but it looks as if Skyrim Special Edition is available to play now.
And let's keep this as civil as possible.
And it is already pre-installed. So it's already installed, in fact. So, and I saw that the media bunker,
This is where they
Tim,
head down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
sure, is playing it right now. So you see how this is. Oh, look at that water. It's great. Hello.
You finally arrived. Our records don't show who went.
Okay, I'm from High Rock. That's fine. We'll... All these faces are just ridiculous. Like I said, it doesn't matter.
Great. I'm sure you'll fit right in. Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
But as you can see, and that right there, that insect, the giant insect right there, is a stilt strider. And that is the transportation from going from town to village. So as you can see, there is a huge jump in graphics between Arena and Daggerfall up to the third Elder Scrolls Morrowind. And then there is an even bigger jump from Morrowind to Oblivion. And then,
Yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
okay. And then another jump, even though it's kind of a big jump, I guess, from Oblivion to Skyrim, it's not as huge of a jump from when it was like Arena and Daggerfall to Morrowind, and then Morrowind to Oblivion. But it is still a jump in graphics, an improvement. Okay, see, I could custom create, and I can name it whatever I want. Archmage, specialized in magic, intelligence, and okay, willpower and intelligence. That's good. And for the major skills, so we'll have destruction, conjuration, destruction, conjuration, alteration, illusion, pretty much all the magic. Illusion, and give you a short blade, and then for here, restoration, mysticism, alchemy, we have enchantment, and oh, I don't know. Speechcraft, why not?
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
See, this is great. And I'm gonna go with the mage.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make
And I
sure
have to
this
take the papers,
information
which
is
will appear on
correct.
this table right here. Yeah, looks good.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Continue through to the next building and talk to Salastradis.
Okay. And normally I would pick and choose what I want here. I'll skip all that. I will get the dagger. Okay. There's a ring in here. Oh. Take it all. Okay, we'll talk to you. Ask about Morrowind, duties, Casas Casades, Balmora. Okay, so it looks like we have our quest. J for journal. My orders are to go to the town of Balmora in Vardenfell district and report to a man named Casas Casades. To find out where he lives, I should ask in Balmora at the corner club called Southwall. Give him a package. Okay. And finally, I think we're out, right? Okay, yeah, here it is. And, I forgot how to... cast spells. I thought... Is it C or R? Options, control... R. Ah, okay. Oh, here we go. See, and what's great is, see, we can move all of this. Resize the map. Isn't that something? Okay, here we go. And I think there's a way to... Well, let me see. For spells. Look at this. Now Sean is... Everyone's playing Skyrim Special Edition. Everyone but me. Okay. It's... Okay, those buttons.
If I can help, I will, but don't take too much time.
Okay, let's just get into some combat so you can see what it looks like. There should be some mud crabs. Save it. Okay.
Go ahead,
Time
go
is
ahead.
precious.
And kind of see what the combat is like. Guys gonna move? Fine. And the interesting thing about here with spellcasting is your success or failure of casting a spell is dependent upon how much fatigue you have. odd. Don't know why that was not working. To just cast a bound dagger. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Hopefully it will work against this. Hey, you. Here we are. Here we go. And we can search it. Dispose of corpse. Ah, and here is don't attack the scribs, because then they all become hostile towards you. Yeah, that's the tax collector. Oops, I keep jumping. Let's dispose of corpse. Take his gold. See, you can search these things. Okay, so that's just a little sample of this. So the next thing that I'm going to show is just some Elder Scrolls Online, and I might just take some of what I just recorded when it was my brother, Gary, and myself. I might just do that. Cool. Okay, so that's good enough. I'll save it. Why not? Okay, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show some of the graphical differences and improvements. And then, you know, like I said, the next thing you're going to see is the Elder Scrolls Online, where it's with Gary and myself, and then the latest thing is Skyrim Special Edition. So yeah, that's it. I've babbled on. I've run out of things to say about it. Okay. Now on Montrex, you know, Josh is playing Farming Simulator. Maybe he's not aware that you can play Skyrim Special Edition now.
We're still in the circle.
Okay.
Oh, I see two guys. Two wizards.
Wizards, yeah, right here. Nice.
Okay. We are almost out of the circle, so we should watch our map, so...
Okay.
Are you fighting out of the circle, Sammy?
I should be fighting... No, I'm inside.
Oh yeah, you are inside. Going outside right now. Nothing here.
Oh. There.
Just want to know, I mean, mainly I want to know how to fight other players and where is PvP?
Yes. Okay, hold on. So what you do is you look at me with the mouse and you hold F. Now, do you see it goes into a wheel of choices? There's one called invite
Into a duo.
Yes.
I just did.
Okay. Oh, Sunny wants to duel me first, so here we are. Okay, so we're gonna duel. Who's this? Is this Sunny? Where is he?
It's in front of you.
Oh.
Oh, is that us? Oh, that is us.
Oh shit.
You have to turn off your creature, Sammy. It's not fair.
Oh, well, that's the thing that makes me strong.
Yeah, but I do not have a creature, so it's really not fair.
Okay, all right. Let me. I'll have to turn it off. Okay, hold on.